How do they make decisions? Is it analytical? Is it emotional? Is it a combination of these things? And define these things before you start putting together items that you think are interesting. Make sure you know what you're dealing with there. The second thing is, and this is something that we do with our clients, is defining your nude score, right? And this isn't you looking in the mirror in the morning. Yes. Okay, come on. We're going to do your nude score. Now, so your nude score, we're talking about word of mouth, and we're talking about engagement. Engagement is simply the modern day version of me calling a friend of mine on the phone and saying, hey, give me a referral. It's word of mouth. That's what we're going for with all of these things. People only refer people so they can feel good about themselves, right? That's why we give a referral. If I say, where should I go eat? You're not going to tell me, hey, you have to hit the Taco Bell, right? You're going to think of some neat place. And there's only 4 factors that let a business be referable, that let somebody feel good about themselves. And that's the novelty of the experience of doing business with you or knowing you. If you're doing nothing novel, you're not referable. And so think about what you do and how you do it and what you're doing that is so different that people would want to go talk about you. If there isn't anything, you're not letting them refer you, right? The second factor is the utility of what you do. So if everybody thinks that let's say that if I tell everybody, I do websites, only recommend me if I do websites, right? Then my utility is this wide. Oh, we do branding. Oh, we build mobile apps and we do mobile websites. Oh, we do social media marketing. Oh, we do SEO. Oh, we do events and these sorts of things. Now, if my universe, if my sphere of influence understands the utility that I'm able to provide, I'm far more referable. So make sure that the people in your network understand the utility of the things that you do, and they're not pigeonholing you into only thinking, oh, call them if they do X, Y, Z, right? So expand your utility as much as possible and know what those things are. The next thing is the dependability of your experience, right? So if I do business with you and something amazing happens, and I go tell 10 people, you need to do business with these people, something amazing happens, and none of those people have that experience, and I ask them, hey, did they do that when they came to your office? And you say, no. Then I don't get the feel good, right? Did they do that? Nope. I don't get to feel good anymore. So I can't refer you anymore, right? So whatever you're going to create that's so novel and that makes people want to talk about you, make sure that you do that on a dependable basis. And I would say that the things that you communicate in social media ought to be about the experience of doing business with you equally or maybe more than what your product is, right? And that will increase your engagement level out there. And lastly, the economy. Is what people give you money-wise worth the experience that they had, right? And it's got to be in line. So I've been using an example with people. One of the top 10 places to visit when somebody comes into town, into Denver, right? Casa Bonita. Okay? Who's been to Casa Bonita? All right. Wonderful food, right? That's why you're going there, because it's amazing food, right? Okay, so here's a restaurant that has not amazing food, since we're making a video on this, not amazing food, but the novelty of the experience of going there has 3/4 of this room showing up. And so this is kind of an example of the way you do business, and the experience of doing business with you is perhaps even more important than the product that you have. And so think about what you're doing. Can you build divers in your business? I'm exaggerating, but what can you do that's going to lead to that? And so that's number 2, is getting more referable, being able to be referred and paying attention to those factors, your novelty, utility, dependability, and experience. and seeing how far you can take those things to be more engaging and more referable to people. Number 3, continue your mobile plan. In 2011, we said start a mobile plan. This year, this coming year, more information is going to be consumed on mobile devices than any other device. If your website doesn't look good on a mobile phone, make sure it does, or you're going to miss the boat. There's Siri now. I can talk into my phone. Look this up. Pull it up. I'm going, right? People are going to use computers less and less and less. I'm not saying that nobody's going to use them going forward. But if you've got a presence, make sure that that presence looks good on a mobile device. Get a tablet. Look at it on a tablet. Turn it this way and turn it this way. Make sure that it's looking good and pay attention to this. It's very important going forward. Mobile website, mobile apps. I don't know if we have enough time to go through this, but a lot of people say, I want to make a mobile app. And I guess what I want to do is kind of share the division between a mobile website and a mobile app. Right? So a mobile website is a great place to provide information on your business, tell people what you're doing, let them read an article, have them fill out a form, tell them about your upcoming events, that sort of a thing. A mobile app is better suited for something that is a transaction. I want to have a mobile app to do my online banking. I want to have a mobile app to complete some quick transaction. That same transaction could almost be completed at a mobile website as well. And so I think a lot of people sometimes want to make an app where probably just a good mobile website that has a very good interface probably gets the job done. Okay? So mobile, big, 2012. Can't ignore that in your marketing strategy. Another huge trend is geo-targeting of social media marketing, location-based marketing, LBM. This is a term that you're going to be hearing more and more and more. And this means when I'm driving somewhere and I do a search for something, the results are going to be driven by where my geographic location is on the GPS on my phone, and those are going to return the results. Google has switched their results to show the local results showing up a lot higher. And so everything's starting to be targeted now that 55% of phones sold are smartphones and they have a GPS item in here. Why not make search more relevant to people based on where you are? So you've got to go out there and you've got to start checking, are you in Google Maps? Are you in Google Places? Are you on Yelp? Are you on Foursquare? Because as people start using these and these search results are being geo-targeted, you've got to make sure that you're located in the right place. Right? Now, you can't show up in places where you aren't, but you ought to be looking at these location-based marketing services and make sure that your listings are all in there and they're showing up well and that they represent who you are and what you'd like to say equally as well as your website and your other marketing activities. So that's a big key to putting together your plan this year. And I guess I'm kind of doing more of a checklist. Active social media listening and participation. We talked about this last year. If you're not actively listening for keywords out there, keywords being your name, your business name, your specific product type, the community that you're in, and have these alerts set up on different tools to absorb this information and have the opportunity to engage in the conversation, that should be huge on your list. To just push information out is not really social media, right? To participate and listen and engage is social media, right? And so getting to where you're listening as much as you're speaking. It's kind of like going to a business meeting, right? The 2 ears, 1 mouth kind of concept where hey, listen and then give good answers is better than just, hey, I did this, hey, I did this, hey, I did this, hey, I did this. People respect it more, and they'll have a better relationship with you, and that will kind of define your brand as well. So I've listed out a number of tools for listening that you can go out and you can check your reach, you can check your reputation, you can check all these different things using these tools, and they go from the most simplistic to things that are far more complex. So that's number 5. If you turn the sheets over, number 6, create a written social media plan. It's kind of like anything. If you don't have a plan, if you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there. And I've listed out some questions for you to answer as you're completing your plan. What are you trying to achieve? What does success look like for you? And some various other information here. Who in here has a written social media plan? Okay? All right, not a third of people, so this is good information. Write this out. How much time are you going to spend? When are you going to schedule that time? And if you don't schedule it, it's probably not going to happen. It's like anything in today's world. So when are you going to do this? What channels are you going to participate in? Who are you going for? What are you going to put out there? How are you going to add value? How are you going to track the ROI of doing this? And what are you going to share, and what's your brand out there? So getting that together is critical to creating a successful plan. Number 7, the year of visual information. This is something else you're going to hear a lot more about going forward. Infographics, right? So people are going to start looking at information on a visual basis. I kind of, as I was printing this last night, was saying, oh, darn it, because this is not infographics in any way, shape, or form. But Google, when I take a picture and they recognize my face and it automatically does things for me, wherever you land on that. Looking at information as graphics, quickly just scanning something and making decisions and letting people understand what you're talking about and what you do. People are becoming far, far, far more visual than they are engaging in reading these types of things. Look at how you're going out there to people, and look at the pictures that you're using, and look at the way that you're conveying information, and make sure that it's easy to consume and it's as visual as possible to people. You'll get a better result because people just aren't reading. I get it. They don't get it, but they think they get it, and so we need to make sure that we're doing things that way. Yes. So that's a great question. Her question was, what about video? Is that replacing text too? And is that more engaging to people? Who wants to comment on that? Yeah.
I would say both and. You pretty much have to be... I would say both and. You pretty much have to be in both places. So the more you can do, the better. But you need to be targeted and focused, and whatever you do, you need to have strategy behind. It starts with your very first point of really figuring out what your message is and who your audience is.
Good. What do you think about video? Replacing text?
Well, it's part, it's part of the overall plan, but YouTube now is the number 2 search engine. What we probably, you haven't had time to discuss, but these are not only communication sites; they are search sites too. We all think of Google, but YouTube is the number 2 search for search now.
Yep.
And just personally, we've planned 2 vacations, based one to China and one on Amtrak, but based our resources were from YouTube. You get all this paperwork, you get all these brochures, but we made our final decisions based on what we saw on YouTube.
Because you wanted to see where you were going to be instead of
and
read
hear
about it.
Yeah.
You want to experience it a little bit more.
I just had an interesting experience. I went to a medical institute in Mexico, and I shoot videos every once in a while, but I always send a weekly newsletter. And I shot a 10-minute video of my experience there, and I sent it to about 1,100 people. I was shocked as to how many people responded to this video. I probably had 300-400 people who opened it and told me about it. So that was the highest open rate I've had. So I've had good experience with video from that.
Very good.
In terms of social media content, video is really important, but think of it as a mix. So think of it as when you do your personal, say your personal Facebook, you have information, you have videos, you have photos, you have blogs, you have whatever. So incorporate that into your strategy. You, in terms of your business or your company, have videos, have photos, have blogs, have information, have compelling stories. Just keep it a mix so that it's interesting and it's compelling for your audience.
Good. Peter.
I would also say consider the content. A travel video is a great example of something that's probably more powerful through video. Example I was at my mother's house for Thanksgiving, was asked to carve the turkey for the first time in a few years, so I found Alton Brown's How to Carve a Turkey video on my phone, set it next to the turkey as I did it. So do you as business owners have little bits of information like that you could deliver to someone when they need it? Because I probably won't need that for a while, but at the time, Alton
Depends how good a job you
saved
did,
me.
right?
So